We just saw the 5th episode of The Bad Batch 2 days ago, and lo and behold, we see the gang land on Ord Mantel during that episode. The episode was called Rampage, and while it was quite interesting to say the least, we got introduced to Muchi, the Rancor. We saw Omega get a new weapon that we see her use in the trailer. We are now fully expecting for the next episode to be with Captain Rex. Finally we can see them reunite, and as we see in the trailer, they are going straight for the wreckage of Order 66. What's crazy to think, however, is that these episodes have been setting up Darth Maul's return. Darth Maul has practically made an appearance in every Star Wars venue. In the animation series, in the movies, he is just one notch below C-3PO and R2-D2. We fell in love more with the character during Season 7 of The Clone Wars, the final season, which showcased Maul in his entirety. The bad, the good, and the ugly. However, in the finale, him escaping from Ahsoka and Captain Rex gives us the perfect opportunity for Maul to make his return in The Bad Batch. We have some new hints in The Bad Batch's latest episode, episode 5, The Rampage, that is quite possible Clone Force 99 may soon come face to face with Crimson Dawn, the criminal syndicate that Maul created to gain control of Mandalore and then expand his power throughout the galaxy. In the latest episode, Clone Force 99 is on the run from bounty hunter Fennec Shand. You see, somebody hired her in order to go after Omega. As a result, they head for the planet Ord Mantel to meet with a contact named Sid. This is at least what Echo tells them, a longtime informant of the Jedi. Now, in exchange for her services and information, both Sid and the gang agree to do a job. After the Bad Batch return successfully with Muchi, they get their information as well as a lot of credits. The implication being that Sid tells them they can come and work whenever they need credits moving forward, kind of working as mercenaries for her. This would provide them a means of survival in this new era of the Empire and now the fall of the Republic. What you might have missed, however, is that Ord Mantel is a world that is most notable for being the base of operations for the Black Sun crime organization. The Black Sun is also a part of Maul's Shadow Collective that he formed in the midst of the Clone Wars. Later, it would come to be known as the Crimson Dawn, which was heavily featured in Solo: A Star Wars Story and is definitely active during the same time as the Bad Batch during what we're seeing right now. Once Maul escaped Ahsoka Tano's custody in the finale of the Clone Wars, during that same time, we see in one of the episodes Maul instructing the leaders of the Syndicate to go into hiding during the war's ending. Now that Sid has basically employed the Bad Batch as mercenaries, coming and going as they please, working for some credits in order to survive, it is very highly possible that they could soon find themselves going up against Maul's crime syndicate and Maul himself. The Bad Batch is the perfect opportunity for Darth Maul and the Crimson Dawn to get a bit more spotlight. In the Clone Wars finale, we did not get to see the full scope of Maul's crime syndicate. Similar to Solo: A Star Wars Story, we got just a glimpse of Maul's empire. Maul's crime empire was created during the Clone Wars, and it made a brief appearance in Solo: A Star Wars Story, but not much else is known about its true influence in the galaxy, now more so than ever during Imperial times. By the time Star Wars Rebels comes in, we know that Maul's power will eventually decline. In Star Wars Rebels, we see no indication that Maul is still the leader of a huge crime organization. He seems like an old hermit similar to Obi-Wan. All he wants is revenge. That's why he goes after Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine, just to exact his revenge, nothing more. So by the very least, we know that during Star Wars Rebels timeline, Crimson Dawn is apparently no more, or perhaps they ousted Maul altogether. Now consider this, Maul absolutely hates Palpatine, especially now that he knows he has come into full fruition, full power. The Empire is his. Maul needs to be doubly careful now that Palpatine is controlling the galaxy together with his apprentice Darth Vader, just as Maul had predicted during the finale of the Clone Wars. So it would be doubly interesting to see what Maul is up to during Palpatine's reign. Considering all this, not only would it be very, very crazy to see a new Maul appearance, which would certainly fit Dave Filoni's plans and narrative, but also it would be interesting interesting to see how the Bad Batch would fare off against a crime syndicate, an organized militia going up against them, and their leader being Maul himself. Now, if Rex joins them as well, this would shape up to be a great arc, or at least a great episode. Outside of Maul, I would love to see other characters come in, like Commander Cody and one other fallen Jedi, which we've talked about previously, and I'm gonna quickly talk about this fallen Jedi making a comeback as well. If Maul and Barriss Offee make a comeback during the Bad Batch, then this series will go up significantly in my book. One of the best unresolved and unsolved mysteries is what happened to Barriss Offee, who kind of appeared to be the direct rival to Ahsoka Tano. In fact, she was the one who set up Ahsoka and eventually led to the destruction of the relationship between Ahsoka and the Jedi Order. Who knew that Barriss Offee could have destroyed the internal Jedi Order so much, to the point where Anakin was reeling from the devastation of losing Ahsoka years later. So Barriss Offee was last seen in the Clone Wars Season 5 finale, being taken into custody after a shocking betrayal of the Jedi and the Republic. Her story, though, did not end with the Clone Wars, and viewers have wanted desperately to her return to the franchise for one more occasion. We thought that during the Clone Wars Season 7, which was the final season, something would be mentioned or resolved about Barriss Offee, but that unfortunately did not happen. And I'm sure that Dave Filoni is not overlooking this issue. I'm sure that this was just a time constraint. They simply did not have time to talk about Barriss Offee while being concentrated on the overarching arc, which was, of course, Order 66 on Ahsoka's point of view. So with the Bad Batch now taking place immediately after the Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith, this may be the best opportunity yet to explain what happened to this fallen Jedi. What happened to Barriss Offee after she was imprisoned by the Republic. And the main reason why I think she will appear in the Bad Batch is because Dave Filoni might have thought about the Bad Batch storyline way before we did, and possibly he intentionally left out her story from the final season of the Clone Wars just in order to tell the darker version of what happened to Barriss Offee in the Bad Batch. To tell her ending, we gotta go through the beginning of Barriss Offee, who was a Padawan to Luminara Unduli, the Jedi Master that was renowned inside the Jedi Order. In fact, Barriss was a very close friend to Ahsoka Tano. Just like Anakin Skywalker, Ahsoka was known to ignore a lot of the Jedi Order's principles or codes. She was not one to suppress her emotions and often disobeyed orders from the Jedi she served under. Well, this ultimately made her a better Jedi and a better person than she would have been otherwise. This is her ultimate path to a gray Jedi of sorts. But Barriss Offee, on the other hand, she was an ideal Padawan. She was very strict to the Jedi code, and this ultimately in the end perplexed her with realizing the Jedi Order's often flawed philosophies during times of war. This led her to become disillusioned with the Jedi and the Republic, simply because, as Yoda feared, the Clone Wars would destroy the very fabric of what the Jedi stood for. They were no longer peacekeepers, now they were warriors. Barriss Offee eventually fell to the dark side and bombed the Jedi Temple and attempted to frame Ahsoka as the perpetrator, although Barriss Offee was revealed as the true bomber in the end, and the fact that the Jedi had no faith in Ahsoka's innocence, this of course, as we all know, led her to leave the Jedi Order once and for all. Now, the last time we see Barriss Offee is her being taken away by Jedi Temple guards, who presumably took her to a Republic prison. This is the problem though, we don't really know. They don't really explain what happened after that scene, but we can presume, as per code, the rules they followed. They took her to a Republic prison. As stated by Dave Filoni himself, Barriss Offee was originally going to die in the Season 5 finale, detonating herself and taking her own life. But in the end, Dave Filoni himself changed his mind and decided that he had further plans for her character. You see what I mean? So Dave Filoni himself is deciding here that Barriss Offee's story is not yet done. And if he does not bring her back during the Bad Batch, then I truly do not know what else Dave Filoni was thinking. As shown in the trailer, The Bad Batch, there are 5 members of Clone Force 99 that appear to defect from the fledgling Galactic Empire, although one of them, as you guys have noted in the trailer, is looking like he will betray them. But considering Barriss Offee's disillusionment with the Jedi and her dark side corruption, this of course is very much in line with what we saw in the Darth Vader comics and in Star Wars Rebels. You see, she might just end up becoming an ally and a servant to Darth Vader and Darth Sidious, and ultimately become a lethal opponent of the Bad Batch. As you may well know, Barriss Offee is not the only Jedi to fall to the dark side during the beginning stages of Imperial times. We all know that there are several others that joined Sidious in becoming Imperial Inquisitors. Many of us believe that Barriss Offee somehow or another is yet to be shown as an Inquisitor during the age of the Empire. Perhaps her story has not yet been told fully. Not in the comics, because we don't see an Inquisitor that appears to be Barriss Offee, or neither in the Star Wars Rebels series. There was a lot of speculation that another female Marilyn Imperial Inquisitor, which was shown as the villain in Star Wars Rebels Season 2, many assumed her to be Barriss Offee. But the seventh sister just turned out to be an original character and not any way tied to Barriss Offee. So similarly, the second sister, one of the main antagonists in the Jedi Fallen Order video game, as well as countless other Inquisitors, the supreme one being the Grand Inquisitor. All these characters have a very similar fate to Barriss Offee. Jedi who were disillusioned during the Republic era with the Jedi, and now during the Imperial era, they joined the Emperor and his cohort Darth Vader in becoming Sith Inquisitors. There were other speculations that her absence from all these Star Wars properties has indications that she might have died, either during Order 66 or somewhere along the lines. But her story is not told as of yet. It would be the same if she is living as well. So both of these storylines have not yet been explained, so this gives us the indication that she might be back as an Inquisitor, and boy, how exciting would that be? We've seen all these people go after the Bad Batch, Tarkin included. How beautiful would it be for an Inquisitor to take the mantle in the end, after, of course, many clone forces fail at it, after possibly Fennec Shand and others. The Season 1 finale might as well be Barriss Offee versus the Bad Batch. Her appearance in the Star Wars franchise once again would be the perfect opportunity to explain the intricacies and the delicacy of the Jedi Order. If Barriss Offee was one of these people, the Grand Inquisitor and others, if they were so disillusioned with the Jedi Order, then how many were there that did not speak up, that just went down in flames during Order 66? This tells you that Barriss Offee might have been right to criticize the Jedi Order, but she became much worse when she bombed the temple. This took it to another level that the Jedi Order was just not responsible for. Me, myself, I've seen other comment that Ahsoka should return in the Bad Batch as well. I have no such delusions. I don't think Ahsoka would be back in the Bad Batch, although anything is possible with Dave Filoni, especially with his finales. He tends to just return characters in the end and leaves us wanting for more during another season, but the Bad Batch, sadly, I don't think will have one. But would you like to see a finale between Ahsoka and Barriss Offee? Ahsoka as this abandoned Jedi, gray Jedi, versus a fully fledged Inquisitor who is now aligned with Palpatine and Vader. You can imagine that, of course, Ahsoka will come out alive in the end during that duel, but one other motivation would be for Barriss Offee to not return to her masters and tell the tale of Ahsoka being alive still. Who knows, anything could happen at this point, but would you like to see Barriss Offee in the Bad Batch? Let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up down below, subscribe for dailies. Now you can have an awesome day, Star Wars fans. I'll see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you. Until then.